Welcome to the Leaderonomics show. Today we have with us Åse Bäckström, Managing Director of the Global Child Forum. I'm with Åse Bäckström, Managing Director of the Global Child Forum. Åse, thank you for being here with us, and it's great connecting with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you initiated or how you got involved in the Global Child Forum.
Yes, the Global Child Forum is a royal foundation, an independent platform for the protection and support of children's rights, and especially focusing on how business can protect and support children's rights. My background is from business as a sustainability and responsibility consultant with former consultancy organizations. I worked a lot for a long time ago for an organization called World Business Council for Sustainable Development.
Yep.
So I've been in the sustainability and business area for a very, very long time. Children's rights is a very, very small or narrow part of the sustainability or responsibility agenda, but it's an issue that needs more focus from business, as business is the actual sector that can actually create a fast change and movement when it comes to children's rights.
Why do you think so? Why is business so important?
Well, our platform, we see that there are 4 different sectors and stakeholders when it comes to children's rights. It's the government sector, the civil society organizations, it's academia, and it's business.
Yep.
Governments create the legal systems to protect children's rights. But governments themselves cannot create the change. Society needs to create the change. And within the society, the business sector is the sector that employs the people, supports, put demands on education, and create change. So in order to really create change, children needs to be included into business, because business do have an impact on children, and children in turn do have an impact on companies. So in order to create a change, we need to get the business sector on board, and that is what we are all about.
Okay, and how do you go about doing that?
Many different ways. As an example, what we are doing since 2013 is that we are conducting a benchmark study where we do assess companies' public reporting on how they identify and deal with children's rights. So we are assessing companies, and we are looking into what is their performance. And this is to create a benchmark so that we can actually follow progress. So that is one way of pushing companies to actually include children's rights into core business operations. And what we do see when we are doing these type of studies is that companies very often do lots of charity and educational programs, but they have not really identified how they are impacting children's rights from their core business. And it's not until you really start to understand that you can actually make a real change. Charity is good, but charity is not children's rights.
And I mean, Global Child Forum, right? I mean, what do you hope to achieve? I mean, I know that connecting to business, but I mean, is there other areas that you hope that this forum, especially here in Malaysia, you hope that it achieves?
Well, we are here in Malaysia to do a regional forum, and we do regional forums we do them with the region, for the region, and on the region.
Okay.
So it's very important that we actually work with the region's issues. So one of our major focus here in the region is to succeed in putting children's rights as the top priority on the business agenda. That's one of our goals. The second goal is that we want business to end the use of child labor. Okay. So that's the second goal we have.
Okay.
And our third goal is to get the benchmarking score, the regional benchmarking score that is 2.1, to increase to 5 within the 5 coming years. Okay. So that's what we want to achieve when it comes to the business sector. In addition, we want to create this independent platform that we want to create and make us known in the region so that our platform can be used by different partners in partnerships to start working on those issues regionally as well, because we are not here to do everything ourselves. We're here to create innovation and learning and share so that we get the ball rolling for the future.
Right. And if you look at your goal, I mean, those are great goals to have, but what are some of the obstacles that are, or the challenges that are along the way that are probably obstructing you from getting to those goals?
So I would say the major obstacles is the less of information, the lack of information and knowledge when it comes to how business do impact children. Because if you ask a company, what's your material impact on a child? It's not the easiest question to answer.
And they're pretty ignorant about the...
Yes, so you actually need to start analyzing, okay, where do we actually connect with children? And if we connect with children, is it in a bad way or is it in a good way? And how do we, if it is in a good way, how do we push that one forward? And if it's in a negative and bad way, how do we stop that? And what do we do instead? And there are not really any type of frameworks available for companies in different sectors as of yet that they can use to do this analysis from. This needs to be created all the way along. So that is one of our second purposes. We are creating research, we are doing studies, we are trying to get this knowledge up on the table so that companies and other sector stakeholders can use it. And so this is really important because the information is lacking, and we need information, and we need to create a way to share this information.
I mean, you seem very passionate about this space.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
Were there some triggers in your life that kind of sparked this whole passion for children and you know being and ensuring that their rights are maintained and given?
Well, if one would have asked me maybe 15 years ago that I would focus on this narrow area within responsible business, I might have been a bit surprised. I have 2 children, and when you get children and you start to get into that type of things and you realize that we are all dependent on the children, that the children are our future, and it's actually a very important part of a sustainable future, a sustainable society, I think that's kind of where the passion comes in.
And so your children give you a lot of this inspiration to...
I think all parents get this type of inspiration.
So you know, as you travel around the countries, right? And, you know, different nations have different policies and laws and so on. How, you know, what's your dream? I mean, what do you hope to see change, you know, over the next 5 to 10 years?
Access to education, high quality education. I think that's health and quality education. I think that's the 2 first step, and of course no violence in relation to kids, because that is really not good for their mindset. And of course you have all those problems with migration, wars, refugees. I think if we could end that, which is maybe not something we could do here today, but going down to the root cause of the problem is usually the best way, and then we could support with all those things around.
Yeah, fantastic. So if I were to ask you to give a piece of advice to our readers, I mean our listeners, what advice would you give them?
The advice is try to secure and put demands on the organizations and people you meet that always think on the child's rights when something is to happen. How does this affect children?
Okay, let me ask one last question. If somehow you were given godlike powers or some superpowers, you know, what would you do? What is the one or 2 things that you do that would that you think you'd be able to change the world or achieve? You would try drive peace.
I think that would be a very good way of doing it. Don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah. I hope you agree.
Yes, I do. No, I think peace is something that we all strive for and wish for. So is that your goal? Is for a peaceful world?
If you want to protect children's rights. Many of the causes of children not being protected is violence, it's conflict, it's war. So I think yes. So I think if we start there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us. Really
you.
appreciate your
you.
time. Thank you for being here on the Leaderonomics show.